We're here at Jazz Live San Diego with Barbara Morrison. Barbara, thanks for being with us tonight.
Oh, thank you very much, Vince.
It's great to have you here, and can you just give us a quick rundown of your bandmates tonight?
Well, we have Ronald Bishop out of Detroit, Michigan. He went to the Berklee School of Music, and he also graduated from Indiana U. Then we have Peter Buck out of Racine, Wisconsin. Racine, I mean, the only person I know famous from Racine is Barbara McNair. But Peter Buck just got his master's degree over at USC. And then we have Charles out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin on guitar. He went to the Milwaukee School of Music under the tutelage of a man, T. Ellis, a great pianist in that, a great guitarist in Milwaukee. And Ricky Taylor from the University of Michigan. He has a master's degree in choral and happens to play a pretty good bass, too.
Yeah. Well, that in itself brings up lots of different questions because now I know that you grew up in Michigan, I believe, but you've been here in San Diego for quite a while, right? I mean, excuse me, in Los Angeles, based in Los Angeles, quite a while.
I've been in California for 35 years.
So now, how do all of these guys who are all from elsewhere around the country get hooked up and become your bandmates?
It's really, really odd. I met Charles about 16 years ago. Working in a little club, and I happened to need a guitar player for the Long Beach Jazz Festival. And I said, "Hey, are you busy tomorrow?" He said, "No." I said, "Can you play with me on this gig?" And we've been together ever since. And then Ron I met about 25, 30 years ago, and that's history in itself. And along came Ricky about 15 years ago, and Peter's only been with us like 5 years. So.
But that's still a lot of years to be playing together.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, we can't stand each other.
So, when was the last time you played San Diego?
I think the last time I was here.
Oh, really?
With Lisa Terry.
Yeah,
the
that's right, the violinist, jazz violinist. She played.
Clark Terry's niece.
Right, exactly. So that's been quite a while.
At least 2 or 3 years.
But you've played here in years past. You had mentioned Hilario's, which is a long gone San Diego venue.
But I also did the festival, right on the San Diego Jazz Festival on the waterfront down here. I don't know what you call that, but is it the lagoon? It's right on the water.
Right. Down at the bay. Oh, excellent. Any other particular memories of visiting South here in San Diego and performing here?
I knew Jimmy Cheatham, and I know Jeannie, but Cecil Lytle, you know him?
Right,
Yeah, the provost. Is he a provost over at San Diego?
At UCSD, maybe?
Yeah. So I came here and I did the Duke Ellington tribute with him, and it was televised here in San Diego on cable. I had a really good time. Hey, Cecil, if you're listening, will you give me back my books? I think I left them.
Well, Barbara, you tell us a little bit about growing up in Michigan and how music got introduced to your life.
Well, my father was a great singer. I don't mean mediocre. He was just a great singer, and he played piano. So I've heard all these long playing, we call them CDs now, but they had the big records, the 78s and the LPs when I was a little girl. And we had a stereo with the television on top and the stereo on the bottom, and he played songs. And every morning or every other morning when he shaved, he would be in the mirror shaving, singing these wonderful songs. And he was in a doo-wop group, and he sung a lot of the old songs and some of the World War II songs. And, like Toby Blue was over by Crystal Dover. And they would sing that in a doo-wop way. You know how the doo-wop people do. So I learned all these songs. I don't know how I learned them, but I do remember coming home from school, my first year at State, and all my friends came over, and we were all sitting on the floor and just talking and laughing. And we started singing songs, and all of a sudden I started singing this song. And after everybody left, my mother said to me the next day, "Where did you get that song?" And I said, "That you sang last night." I said, "I don't know." And she said, "Your dad was in the bed and he heard you singing that song and he started doing some movements and stuff." And I said, "What's going on? Where did I get that song?" And it turned out to be one of the songs that he used to sing in his doo-wop group. So by osmosis, I think, I learned a lot of songs. I knew the lyrics And still today, I know the lyrics to a lot of songs.
Yeah.
And the melodies, the beautiful melodies.
Well, that seems to be one of your signatures, is the wide breadth of material that you use and songs that you draw on for performances. Where did you diverge from your parents' musical taste, and what were some of the things that you kind of grasped as your own that you still use today?
Well, I think I'm a pretty good R&B'er sometimes. My dad normally listened to Dinah Washington. My mom always listened to, she liked, what's the trumpet player? Lee Morgan. My mom liked Lee Morgan, and every time my dad would make it home with his paycheck, she'd put some beer in a little cup, and we'd all drink a sip because he got home and we'd dance to the sidewinder. Bop, bop. So that was like a fun thing for us to do when I was a kid. But my father, every now and then, he'd listen to O.C. Smith or what's his name? Al Green. When I got to my 20s, Al Green, when I was about 19 or 20, Al Green came on the scene. And he lived, and not too far, he lived in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So it was a big thing to go see Al Green. So you have to remember that Romulus is only about 15 or 11 miles from Detroit. So I had all these people to draw from. I had Aretha, because she was not at Motown, but she was at Atlantic, but she lived in Detroit. Smokey, Diana Ross and the Supremes, and so I had all that. And then I had my mom with Dinah Washington, Lee Morgan, and so it's kind of all got mixed in there together.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I loved it. And then, of course, we always had to go to church, so we had the gospel songs, and it kind of made like just a mixture of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful student that we have at UCLA right now, Khalil Wilson. Have you been hearing about him?
No.
I'll make sure I give you a CD of him, but you can hear all those things in him. He's classically trained, so you can hear all the classical stuff, and then you can hear the jazz stuff, and Stevie Wonder, the R&B, and then you can turn around and hear Al Jarreau, and you can hear Billy Eckstine. It's just a wonderful mixture of sounds and voicings that he gives.
Well, and then where would you attribute your blues background? Because that's another genre that's associated with you in blues singing. We've talked kind of about some of the standards of the day, the pop day, and jazz in that way, and then some of the R&B. Where'd you get your blues background?
Well, at a very early age, I met Johnny Otis. And when I met Johnny Otis, in my audition, I did a Barbra Streisand piece. And so he pulled me to the side. Now here, you have to remember, a lot of people thought Johnny Otis was black because you hear his voice on the radio. But he was Greek. He was not black. And so he pulled me to the side and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "What do you mean, what am I doing?" And he said, "Why are you trying to sing Barbra Streisand? Why are you trying to sing like you're white or something?" And I said, "What do you mean by that?" And he said, "Look, you're an African American, be proud of it, and here, go listen to this, and when you come back to me, you give me something from your own style, and quit copying the people, and quit trying to take other people's style." And he gave me some wonderful blues from Eddie Cleanhead Vincent, Etta James, Coco Taylor, and I started listening. I said, "Hey, wait a minute, this guy's onto something." And when I went back to him, I said, "How did you know that I could sing this?" And he said, "Because you can, and it's your culture, and you should know more about it." So that's when I started studying up on the blues.